It's time for Real Estate 101 with the Carrie Brown team from Preferred Advisors.
Good Saturday morning to you. This is Carrie Brown, Associate Broker with eXp Realty and the Preferred Advisors team, and you're listening to Real Estate 101. Welcome to 2021. Goodbye, 2020. I am here today with my co-hosts for the month. They're a little nervous, so they're going to be just fine. But it is Garrett and Jess Roberts. They own Capital City Duct Cleaning Service. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning, Carrie. How are you?
Doing great. See, they already sound just fine. I have helped them with buying and selling a couple of homes, and super great couple. But I'm going to let them tell you a little bit about themselves so you'll know more about them. Garrett, you are a veteran, correct?
Yeah, I did 10 years in the Army, got out and started doing stuff with the railroad, and that's kind of about how we came around this idea for this company. The wife was wanting her air ducts cleaned, and so she called a friend back in Ohio, and he kind of led us into this line of work. So it's worked out pretty well so far.
And the wife?
Yeah. I am from Ohio, so I had called a friend back home who had started an air duct cleaning business, and he was posting a lot of before and after pictures, and it's not something that had ever occurred to me to have our air ducts cleaned. We had just went through a whole house renovation, and I just got to thinking about previous owners' pets. You just don't know, if you weren't the builder of the home, what is in your air ducts and what you are potentially breathing in. So got to looking up air duct cleaning and found that our bodies shed 40 pounds of dander a year. So if you think about all the people that's lived in the home prior to you and how much shed that is and how much stuff could potentially be in there, I started getting grossed out, and I told Garrett I wanted to get my air ducts cleaned. So I called a friend, and he said, look for a duct truck. And I kind of hit a brick wall looking for one, and told Garrett, and Garrett's like, let's do it. And I'm like, you want to jump off the cliff, you go right on ahead, but I'm going to stand right here. We jumped off the cliff together, so here we are.
See, that's just what it is. You jump off the cliff and you just keep running, and so far it's going pretty well, correct?
It's going great.
Yes, we've been pretty busy. Really good customers so far, and thanks to you guys, we've been doing pretty good. So,
well, I had him out to clean mine because, I'm one of those people that I didn't know a lot. We had actually had my son's done because there had been some mildew, moldish, not exactly 100% sure. We didn't have it tested, but in his basement, and he had a respiratory issue. So we wanted to make sure in his new home that he didn't have any problems. So we had his done back years ago, but they weren't around anymore.
Yeah.
So you guys, to my knowledge, are the people in Topeka to do the area.
Yeah, there's a couple of businesses in the area that do air duct cleaning, but as far as I know, and I think I called about 12 different businesses looking for air duct cleaning when I was looking for it for my home, and my question was, what equipment are you using? And I couldn't find a duct truck. So to my knowledge, we are the only one in the Topeka and surrounding area.
So I had them out to do mine, too, because I got to thinking about it. My husband and I, when we travel, we don't have any issues with our sinuses or, anything like that. But then we would come home and we would get stopped up, and we were like, I wonder why. So I had all of the carpets cleaned, the furniture shampooed. We even had our bed shampooed. Like every bed in the house, and I had taken down the curtains. I mean, I had done everything, and all that was left was the ducts. So, and we were having dryer issues. So Garrett came out. He spent way longer than what he anticipated having to spend. And he was like, whoa, wait a minute.
It was a good day, good workout.
Yeah. Just failed to mention some stuff. But he was there all day. He got everything cleaned up. And I said, listen, you can use the evidence. You just can't say where you found it.
That's usually the consensus with everyone. So
actually, we've really been able to tell a difference. You know, we haven't been stopped up. We aren't having to dust as much.
Yeah.
And the house just smells cleaner. So I think it's really awesome. And the dryer, otherwise, we were really hopeful that would save our dryer. But the guy came out and he was like, listen, put this thing to rest. It's done. So I had him call my husband who had been traveling at the time. And I said, he needs to hear it from you because he knows I want a new dryer.
Yeah. That would have been me.
Yeah. So I'm going to need some verification, a little bit of proof.
A signature, maybe.
Yeah. I might need to have you FaceTime with him. So I did get a new dryer, but we tried really hard and tried to save it. It didn't work, but Garrett had gone in and cleaned it all, and it really does make quite a bit of a difference.
Yeah, it definitely increases the efficiency of a dryer. It'll cut down on drying time. My grandma had it done, and you wouldn't believe the pile that came out of there. And I think she's had that dryer in there for, 10 years, 20 years, never been touched. And she said if she went from 2-3 cycles on bedding down to 1, was getting it dried. So just that airflow coming out of the back definitely helps.
And if you're decreasing, from 2-3 times to 1 time, and you're thinking about your energy bill, your dryer is one of your higher appliances that increases that energy bill. And if you're decreasing it that much, you really should see a difference on your energy bill as well. So it kind of pays for itself, and you always are running an increased risk of a dryer fire. I mean, a clogged dryer vent is one of the leading causes of a dryer fire. So it's really important. That's a yearly maintenance that you should have done, especially if, you're a household with kids. I know I have an astronomical amount of laundry. Garrett and Waylon Sawyer and myself, we all change multiple times a day. So I feel like it's never ending. And it's just one of those things that you definitely need to think about and have done every single year.
Absolutely. And what you'll find is if you, like ours, for instance, our dryer is in our basement. And while no one's technically told me this, but what we found is the dryer tends to, because the vent is further up, the dryer lint tends to stay down by the dryer, which also in turn keeps it underneath. I was having to unscrew the little trap thing, go in and clean underneath the barrel part of the dryer. So things like that do cause fire. You need to really pay attention. Ours isn't on the same level, so it doesn't have that little short pipe to push out of. It's an uphill climb for our lint. So
I've come to notice that for the ones that have cleaned the vertical dryer vents, those tend to be the dirtiest because gravity, it fights itself getting out. So definitely would help to get them looked at, or at least think about it.
It makes total sense, though, when you think about it. That's a lot of gravity to have to push against to get it out. So,
Yep.
All right. So the other thing is just the overall function of the furnace and the AC, having it all cleaned.
Yeah, you're not. It's basically a big recycle. So your returns are sucking the air back into the furnace. And whatever's already in the air, if it's not clean, it's going to continue recycling it through the system. So we'll come in and I'll cut an 8-inch hole in the plenum, hook up all my stuff, put the negative pressure to the system, go up and start at each vent. I'll run each vent down to the main and then poke a hole in the main and clean the main out to the vacuum. So the whole system will be clean. Then I'll go over to the return side and do the same thing there. Push all the returns down to the main and the thermopans and clean all them out as well.
So when you say poke a hole in the main so that nobody's freaking out, how do you fix that after?
So when we're done, like for the 8-inch hole I'll cut, I got a 10x10 patch that'll come through. I'll use sheet metal screws, like zip screws, and foil tape and patch that up. And then for the 1-inch holes I poke, I have a little plastic plug that goes in. And it's like you never notice it was there, really.
And I would say you actually notice a difference. I mean, it seems like our furnace is actually working better when we have 2.
Yep.
So
I remember the one in the attic, Carrie.
Yeah, sorry about that. That we kind of failed to. I feel like I said something, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm gonna.
It could have been. I'll take responsibility for that. When you have that many vents, usually that's another thing when people call in. When we're doing our quotes, we're always going to ask for a vent count. So that gives Garrett a really good idea of how long he's going to be at your place. So we know, if we can get one job in or two jobs in the day, because a typical duct cleaning does take, about 4 hours for an average size home. But when you start getting into those 20, 30 double system vent homes, 40 vent homes, it's going to be an all day job. So, we do like to have a vent count definitely on hand. And I should have asked when I saw your vent count, do you have one or two systems? So my fault there.
So the day started out with, sorry, Garrett.
Great way to start a day.
Hey, all he had really going was hunting.
Yeah, it was
just the middle of rut, which we pause our marriage for every year.
Oh, I understand. My husband, I think he's cranky because he hasn't got to hunt very much. So when it comes to just the overall life expectancy of a furnace and an AC, how does all that tie in as far as the air conditioner and the furnace and just the cleanliness of it?
A cleaner system is going to run more efficient. Like we were talking about with the dryer, anything, less restrictions, less dirt, everything on top of that's going to make run better and longevity be a little bit better.
Yeah, and anytime that you're having restrictions on a system, you're decreasing its life. So if you get up there and the flow of your air is restricted and that furnace is having to work overtime to meet the requirement of the thermostat, then you're definitely cutting the life short of your system. So,
how often should you get your furnace or your ductwork cleaned?
According to NADCA, they recommend every 3 to 5 years. But honestly, I go through and tell people, your house will tell you when it's ready. If you see more dust than normal, it could be longer than 5 years or sooner than 5 years. It just depends on your house. Your allergies start coming back. You notice, like I said, more film dust all over stuff. It's probably time to get it looked at least and go from there.
Kind of same thing with the dryer vent. If you have more kids and you're doing more dryer or, doing a lot of laundry, same thing with your system. If you have a lot of people in your home, if you have a lot of pets in your home, if you have somebody with increased allergies or respiratory issues, those people, are probably going to be our people who are every 3 years. So, or maybe even sooner. We have a lady that calls us that gets hers done every single year because her son has such terrible allergies. So, it really just is preference. If you start seeing, my biggest thing is dusting. I hate dusting. So, and I'm kind of very particular about my house. And if I start seeing dust sooner than my, 3 to 5 year time span, I'm going to be getting my air ducts cleaned sooner. Fortunately, I have a duct truck sitting in my driveway, but if I didn't, I would be calling to get mine cleaned.
So a plug that she doesn't know I'm going to do, but if she should really start a decorating type business because the girl's got skills. I'm just saying.
Thank you.
I've tried to get her hired by a couple interior designers. She doesn't know that. But, she really does have some serious skills on how she decorates, and it's not over cluttered. And I'm actually really particular. People are really shocked. I don't know why they're shocked, but I everything for me has to be a certain way and has to look a certain way, and I don't understand why that. I don't know, and I don't ask because I'm scared they're going to answer. But I will say she does have some serious skills.
Thanks.
But I will say that having them come in and do the work on the air and the duct cleaning and all that, the dryer vents, has really made a big difference. Especially, we had a dog. His name was Zeus, and he was a full-blown, big, huge husky.
Sweet.
So much hair.
So sweet, though. He was such a cuddle bug.
I can tell the houses I've been in that's had dogs or prior dogs before. I'll walk out probably sometimes furrier than what they were.
Oh, yeah.
But, get on the website and you can see some more before and after pictures of the dog hair in the vents. It's
One of them might be mine.
it could, yeah.
We won't say. We won't. No names. That was a promise. We do use before and after pictures of a lot of customers' homes, but you're never going to know. You might know which one's yours. You might see your picture, but we never say whose is whose. So
Zeus, literally, just any time in the day, you could sweep, and I swept multiple times a day. You could clothe like 5 chihuahuas just off of one sweep job of his hair. And he just walked around just sprinkling it everywhere. A friend of mine had asked me, I'm really thinking about getting a husky. Do they really have that much hair? And I said, here's a good way to, like glitter. And she said, yeah. I said, just take a great big bottle and just throw it up in the air and just let it go wherever it wants to go. That's Zeus.
yeah, right? Yeah, definitely, for sure.
He was such a beautiful dog, so he was definitely worth it. But
yeah,
we still find hair from Zeus, and he's been gone like 7 months, so a lot of Zeus hair.
Yeah.
We are going to take a break for a word from our sponsors. We'll be back to talk more with Jess and Garrett from Capital City Duct Cleaning.
Southwest Topeka has a good neighbor. State Farm agent Jim Garrison, now at 29th and Urish. If your current insurance situation has you going around in circles, get off the roundabout and stop in and meet Jim and his wonderfully efficient staff. Let Jim Garrison give you a quote and make the Garrison comparison. He's confident that with State Farm's competitive rates, the right coverage, and his unmatched service, you'll want to make him your new insurance agent. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and Jim Garrison is there for you, northeast of the roundabout at 29th and Urish.
In today's world, health is a huge concern, and Euphoria has the answer. Euphoria is the one and only company to offer personalized designer nutritional supplements based upon your DNA profile with nearly 400 million unique formulas. A DNA test unlocks the secrets to your actionable genes and their influence on your body. Euphoria's home-based DNA non-invasive saliva kit is all you need to send your sample to the lab. You'll receive a customized report addressing your DNA deficiencies with an action plan. To learn more, go to myfuture.euphoriascience.com. Make 2021 your healthiest year yet.
Does your dirty air ducts have you continuously dusting? Ditch the dust brush for our duct truck. Capital City Duct Cleaning is Topeka's new veteran-owned air duct and dryer vent cleaning service. Call today, 785-484-2801, or visit us online at capitalcityductcleaning.com for your free quote.
Are you looking for a career that provides you with wealth based on your level of effort, with multiple levels of income, including passive long-term income? If you are interested in real estate or are currently a real estate agent and want to work with a company that wants you to retire with long-term passive income, call your local eXp Realty agent today. And if you don't know one, call Carrie Brown at 785-249-6309. You deserve more of what you work so hard to earn, and eXp is where you should be.
Thanks for joining us again. This is Carrie Brown, Associate Broker with eXp Realty and the Preferred Advisors team, and you're listening to Real Estate 101. If you're looking to buy or sell a home this year, be sure and check out our website, TopekaHomeAdvisors.com. It actually covers all of Northeast Kansas. Again, we're on 4 MLSs, so we're on Kansas City, Lawrence, Topeka, and Manhattan. That covers a good portion of Missouri also, clear up to the Nebraska border, way out west, and then clear down to Emporia. So be sure and check that out. It actually goes further down than Emporia, but we don't service that far down. So be sure and check it out. You can search for anything. You can save, favorite. You can customize it whenever you're ready. So be sure and check that out. And I am back with my co-hosts for the month, Jess and Garrett Roberts. They own Capital City Duct Cleaning. And so these guys are awesome to deal with. I've personally had them clean my home. If you weren't listening before the break, Garrett walked into a pretty good surprise because we have a couple of furnaces and a lot of vents. He got to hang out for the day.
It was a long day. It was a full day.
Yeah. And my dog loved him, which is really cool because
They tend to warm up. Usually, I don't know, it's weird. Something about, they usually come around, so...
They don't always come around, Garrett.
Yeah, no, they don't. We've had a couple dragging through the house on our ankles before. So,
yeah. No, I mean, dogs don't always come around to guys in general. Like, my husband wasn't at the house, so whenever he met Garrett, I thought, oh, man, this is going to be bad. But she was just like, oh, I like him. So she followed him around.
Yay.
Yeah. So that was awesome. So even dogs like him. So, guys, that's a good sign. So anyway, okay, so during the break we were talking about good people that need services are typically new construction.
I've been in a few new construction houses, and honestly, they're worse than houses that I've seen sometimes 20 years old. The sheetrock dust, I've seen stuff from contractors left behind, like
Carpet.
Cigarette butts. I found McDonald's wrappers, all sorts of stuff. And I really like doing those because the before and after pictures show for sure what we get out and get done, because the sheetrock dust it layers up pretty good in there.
I bet. So renovations would be another.
Yeah, renovations, exact same thing. I mean, at least you won't have the McDonald's wrappers down in the vents because you're doing it, or home most of the time. But it's definitely something to look into if you're thinking about doing it.
I always tell everyone who calls that's going through renovations, a lot of times I get questions like, hey, we're getting ready to do some drywall work, and then we might do some flooring, and then, 6 months from now we might redo a bathroom. My recommendation, obviously we'd love to have your business today, tomorrow, and in the future, but my recommendation is definitely wait until after all of those renovations are done. Like Garrett said during the break, that is definitely the cherry on top. If you do it in between each renovation, you're just putting that dust right back into your air duct system. So the best thing you can do when you're finishing up and you're cleaning up, getting ready to really utilize that space and live in it, call us. We'd love to clean your air ducts and get all of that construction dust and debris out of there for you.
I was reading an article, and it was talking about, can you clean your air ducts yourself? And it was pretty elaborate about why you shouldn't, but I'll let you say why you shouldn't.
So I've had a few people tell me they've tried doing as far as they can. They've had shop vacs and stuff they've shoved down the registers and vents, and if you don't have the right equipment, you're not going to get the right results that you want out of the job. So we have the right stuff. We have air whip. Like I said earlier, I put the system under negative pressure, and I'll use compressed air with whips and go down each run of your vents. And it's definitely the right tool for the task. Everything has the right tool, so we got the stuff.
Yeah, a shop vac just isn't going to get it.
Yeah, you're not cleaning the whole system with a shop vac.
A lot of times I'll have people ask us questions about the equipment that we use. The difference between, and I kind of wanted to hit a point on this too, so I'm glad that you asked. The difference between the equipment that we use and sometimes when you call people, you'll hear like a rotobrush system. We use negative reverse air. The whips are going to dislodge every nook and cranny of that vent because the high pressured air is making those whips just fling everywhere. We have a lot of videos on our social media showing how exactly the vents do get cleaned, but with that truck in itself, it pulls 15,000 cubic feet per meter. When it's closer, the closer you are to the furnace, the more it pulls. So if you can get a really close connection, the better pull you're going to have on it. But once you suck that up and Garrett starts dislodging, nothing is going to get left behind.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy thing. I've never seen a vacuum like that before. I try to stay away from vacuums, and it's a good one. But there definitely is a tool for every job. The roto brush, there's a time and a place for it, and then like what we got, there's a time and place for the whips, and it just kind of depends, and we'll definitely come take a look at it and let you know. And if it's something we don't feel comfortable doing and it's a different tool, then we'll let you know, and we won't cheat you out of that. So.
Now, I will say you do before and after photos because you were showing me before and after of mine.
Yep. Yeah. So a lot of people like to see them. I mean, you're paying for a job and you want to see the progress that's being done, but I just take a picture of the vents and returns and all that stuff and the runs before and then clean them, and then I'll do after pictures and show you guys what it looked like. So.
You also brought me over and showed me like the base of my furnace. So there was all the stuff that was sitting down at the base. How did all of that get there, or was it already there?
That was already there. So that was your return side. That's all the air that's getting sucked back in to the furnace that didn't pass through the filter. But, I mean, the filter's only going to catch so much. So that it all just kind of collects. The return side's the dirty side, real dirty. if you get on there, you'll see a bunch of dust and debris build up on the website. And, yeah, it's gross. It's gross stuff in there.
It actually was. I was thinking you, pushed it all down there. So it was already there?
Yeah, it was there previously. We find that a lot. We'll cut into older systems and stuff that's never been cleaned before, and just the build-up over time, it adds up. So,
yeah, our house was built in 75, I believe. And, in our ownership, and we've been there for, I want to say 20 years, we had never had ours cleaned. So you figure, we had 5 to 7 dogs, I want to say, in that time frame, and then 3 kids. And, you never know what they stuck down there. I was expecting some treasures because who knows what ended up in the ductwork.
I find a lot of Nerf gun bullets. A lot of those.
Crayons.
I know when we did Cody's years ago, there were balls. They had little dogs, so they had all these little chewy balls. And they just, because the basement wasn't finished, they went ahead and just blew it into the basement through the, we had balls everywhere.
Yeah.
I bet you those
tennis
dogs.
balls. I should start a tennis ball company or something and start selling them on quite a bit.
Yeah, it's amazing how they get in there, though.
Yeah. Right? I know. Yeah.
Makes you think that the kids are trying to send it down some sort of magic tunnel or something.
So thankful ours are in the ceiling because we have turbo, and our son is just a hurricane, and I can only imagine if he had something in the floor to shove things down, what we would find in ours. But luckily ours are located in the ceiling, and we haven't had to worry about that yet.
I was at a house one time, and this lady had it was a return vent right above the return on the furnace, and we get to the bottom down there, and I cut it open, and there was probably 3-foot stack of toys that they had thrown down in that we didn't remove for them.
Oh, wow. See, I could totally see my kids doing that whenever they were little.
Yeah.
Yeah, kids are mischievous, that's for sure.
These
try to
guys
hide stuff.
Yeah, these guys have a little boy. His name is Waylon, but just called him Turbo. In his world, his name is Turbo. And so he was talking to Santa via Zoom because we had hosted the Zoom call with Santa. And he lays across the bed and he says, Santa, my name's Turbo, and sometimes I'm bad.
At least he's honest. I mean, I think he was trying to get to the nice list through honesty. So I think we're doing something right. But yeah, sometimes he is bad.
It was hilarious.
Oh, they got these little camcorders for Christmas. And him and Sawyer have been going around the house pretending that they're YouTube recorders. It has been the funniest thing ever. I don't know what Grandma was thinking. Probably a YouTube channel, but
he kind of needs
retirement off of YouTube. That's probably exactly what she was thinking.
When your kid's 3 and he calls himself Turbo.
Oh yeah, and he doesn't.
He had a mullet for about a year. He rocked that mullet.
Loves AC/DC. Yeah, he's definitely one of a kind for sure. Yeah.
Lots of fun. So what's the process to get you guys to come out, and what all do they need to tell you to get an estimate?
Well, we definitely offer free estimates for everybody. So if you would like a free estimate, we prefer that you do it online, but you can definitely give us a call, 785-484-2801. If you're tech savvy, get online, get on our website, www.capital.cityductcleaning.com. And you can click on the Get a Quote. Just fill out that form. It's going to send me a notification. And then I will email your free quote back to you. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Capital City Ducts KS on Facebook, or Capital City Duct Cleaning on Instagram.
And if you're looking to buy or sell, be sure and give us a call at 785-213-5188. If you are looking to sell, we do give a free evaluation to get you a pretty good idea of what your home should sell for, answer all your questions. You always know what you can expect to walk away with. So be sure and give us a call. Or check us out online at TopekaHomeAdvisors.com.
Thank you for listening to Real Estate 101 with the Carrie Brown team from Preferred Advisors.